Me public. I had to change some settings and I'm back. So I will continue. Uh, right? Okay. Now, project integration management. Project integration management includes all processes to ensure that all the elements of a project are properly coordinated. You have different elements of the project. The most important elements I told you is project cost, project quality, and project time. Yes, I think my settings were not proper. Good morning, everyone. I'll not waste time saying good morning. I'll say good morning to you last. I think I had not kept settings for public, and so you could not see me. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, let's start with a smile. I think I should restart my class. Yeah, I had not given the settings for public, I think, and that's why you couldn't see me. I started the class. I think I should start again. See, in project management, I was talking to you about 10 knowledge areas. The 10 knowledge areas were integration management. It integrates all activities across all project management areas and process groups. Then you have the project scope management. It ensures the project work includes all elements required to complete the work and nothing beyond. As I told you, when you say scope, you think of a frame, photo frame, where anything within the frame, photo frame has to be done mandatorily, and nothing beyond it. Anything beyond it is not necessary to be done. And then project time management to ensure that all the work is done within the stipulated time. Then you have the project cost management, where you plan, estimate, manage, and control all the finances of the project. Then you have quality, so that quality management, so that you have a quality output that is fit for purpose, that is reliable, and you deliver the standards that you had promised. Then next, resource management to secure the resources, like if funding, for example, to get the funding, to get the infrastructure, to get the people, interdisciplinary people, etc., that you require. And then that is secure the resources, manage the resources, and monitor use of the resources. Think of them as scarce resources and efficiently manage them, optimize them actually. Then you have the communications. This is a soft part of the 10 knowledge areas, where communication is very important. You have to communicate the completion of the project, the various stages of completion of the project, etc. All right. And then you have risk management. As I told you, uncertainty and risk are two concepts. Uncertainty cannot be measured, but risk can be measured by way of probability. So you have project risk management, where you identify, you assess, and you manage the risk. Then procurement management, because see, a lot of money can go waste if you buy things that you do not need. You know the difference between current assets ratio, the current ratio. What is current ratio? Current assets by current liabilities. You get a grand ratio, 2:1 and all that. Though ideally I would say neither conservative nor the more jumpy ideas, 1.3 or 1.4 would be a very ideal current ratio. But the acid test ratio gives you the real meaning. Current assets minus stock. Suppose you have old stock, the current ratio will be very high. It says 2 assets to 1, 2:1, for example. 2 assets are there for 1 liability. Or to pay off 1 rupee, you have 2 rupees kept ready in hand. But in actuality, most of it may be blocked in stock. So there you have current assets minus stock, which gives you the quick assets, which gives you the real picture of what liquid assets you have in hand to pay your liabilities. Suppose I would say ideally today it is 1.1:1 is great if you can manage, but that is very idealistic and very tough to manage. unless you are on hand all the time, meaning 1 rupee you keep to pay 1 rupee, but 1 rupee 20 paisa to keep, or 1 rupee 30 paisa to keep, to pay 1 rupee would be a little better situation. So 1.2 is to 1, 1.3 is to 1, 1.4 is to 1, which means 1 rupee 40 paisa you are keeping to pay every 1 rupee of liability. I repeat, 1.4 is to 1 current ratio would be, you are keeping 1.4 rupees in hand to pay 1 rupee of liability. Alright, so if you have a quick assets ratio of 1.3 is to 1 or 1.4 is to 1, it would be very convenient. Alright, hold on a second, I'm sorry, somebody is banging badly at the gate. Hold on. Yaru? One day my husband will come. I'm online taking class. Get up! I don't know where he is right now. माँ फाइल कर रही है. मेरे लिए एक क्वेश्चन से सर को पूछी. सॉरी हम क्लास से चीज माँ फाइल से बॉम्ब मारता वो डोंट पे आई तू. कॉलिंग करते ही. Sorry guys. Okay, so here we are. Just a minute. Here we are. So I was talking to you about project integration management, and we will talk like this. You have, I'm very sorry guys, there was somebody banging very badly at the gate. Alright, project plan development, including project plan content, and we also have sorry. Now I'm going to talk to you about learning objectives of today's class. The first one, we are going to have an overall framework for project integration management as it relates to this project and other projects. Next, you are going to have a project plan development, including project plan content, using guidelines and templates for developing plans and performing a stakeholder analysis to help manage relationships. Now you see, I will first of all say how you develop a project plan and what are the contents of the plan. Then you have a guideline, you have templates for developing the project plan. Finally, you have in this objective a project stakeholder analysis. Who are the stakeholders? Maybe your fellow employees, the sponsors, the top management, anyone who is concerned with having a say in the project or who was interested in the project is a stakeholder. Alright, so you have project stakeholder analysis. Why do you have to have a project stakeholder analysis? See, the most difficult thing is interpersonal relationships. It's not easy to develop, interpersonal relationships. So the stakeholder analysis also manages stakeholders. Each stakeholder, what interest they have. Someone may be interested in your budget. Someone may be interested in your quality. Someone may be interested in how your work goes on. Is it going on fast enough? All this. So what they want, you're supposed to communicate. Things become simpler. Alright, it's like consumer behavior. When you know that what the customer wants, and you give them what they want, so they'll be delighted, not only happy, satisfied, they'll be delighted with what they want. You give them some value added things, etc. Alright, so here we are. Next, you have project plan execution. Alright, you have a project plan, how you execute it, its relationship to project planning, the factors related to successful results. See, there is something called key result areas, KRAs, or there are some factors which lead to a successful project. all right, successful completion of the project. So if you realize these key result areas and concentrate on them instead of all the areas, of course all the areas you have to concentrate, but priority wise you may need to focus. So these key result areas, what are the key factors that contribute to the result areas? If you can identify those, then it becomes simple. All right, these are the factors that lead to successful results. Then there can be a change. Sometimes it is necessary to have a change in plans. How do you control the change? How do you identify the risks associated with the change? How you mitigate, manage, and mitigate the risks? All this is also part of project integration management. And then whether information technology is to be used, what software is to be used, etc. Please go on to the next slide. And I told you I'm taking from some parts of this slide are from A Guide to Project Management, Body of Knowledge, 4th edition, Project Management Institute Incorporation 2009. Some parts of that, some presentation are taken from that book and that website. All right. Now, integration management. What is integration management? So far, I told you the 10 knowledge areas. I told you what is today's class, what it contains. Now, I'll tell you what is project integration management. First of all, project integration management includes processes to ensure that all the elements of a project are properly coordinated. I told you we have a tripod of time, cost, and quality. All right, time, cost, and quality. So when you maintain the cost, the quality and the time may suffer. If you maintain the time, the other two may suffer. So it's a fine tripod of time, cost, and quality. So there is it is necessary that inclusive of time, cost, and quality, resource management, procurement, communication, stakeholders management, all this has to be coordinated. So in integration management, what we do is all processes to ensure that all the elements of a project are properly coordinated. This is what we do. Then, as I told you, if you manage cost, the time and quality may suffer. So what is of prime importance? Maybe time is more important. Quality will go, will go hand by hand, and budgeting may go hand in hand if time is managed. Sometimes if cost is managed, the other two qualities may go hand in hand and they can be managed. So suppose you can concentrate and focus on one of these issues and not necessarily the other two, automatically things will go on. So which of these is more important, the priority wise, etc., we have to determine. And sometimes we have to make trade-offs. See, the lesser evil has to be chosen for the, something like this. So making trade-offs among competing alternatives and objectives to meet stakeholder needs. All right. Then this integration management is typically the most important area for the project manager, because in this area the project, it's here. In this area the project manager makes sure that all that is he has to achieve has been achieved. All right, how to achieve all this is the planning part for the project manager. He puts together everything and sets the foundation. It's like building the foundation of the house. If the project is a house, this is the project integration management is the foundation of the house. Now, how do we, next slide please. Why do we manage integration? See, we manage change and communication. When you do integration management, we manage change and we manage communication. Then we reduce project time and cost. We reduce project time and cost. Yeah, good morning everybody. I hope you can see me, guys. Once again. Class, I'm using my phone and I don't want to check my WhatsApp. I've got a lot of messages on WhatsApp. I don't know why. Are you able to see me? Can you just communicate and tell me, ma'am? Yeah, you're good. We can see you. Could you tell me that, please? Could you tell me whether my class is going on okay? Are you able to follow? I would appreciate that. Pavan? Spandana? Lavanya? Shruti? Yeah, Ravi? Good, good. Thanks, Ravi. Thanks a lot. Okay, great. Now I'm going on. Why do we manage integration? We manage integration because we need to manage change. As I told you, sometimes there is an escalation of cost and something like that. There could be a natural disaster or some labor force has changed. See, lockdown happened. Something like this. Let's not hope such a thing happens ever again. No one wants to suffer like how we have suffered with the lockdown, isn't it? So that is one thing. So manage change and communication is why we do integration. Then we want to reduce project time and cost. We wish to involve and want to involve stakeholders early and often before they get irritated and they complain that the project is not going on well or something like that. Just give them a little attention and they will be happy and they will support you. All right. And then make results visible. See, I will go on and tell you what are the ways in which you can review the project and you can communicate to others, etc. So here it is: make results visible, identify problems and by the solutions early, use relevant experience as early as possible. All right. Suppose you're a project manager and you have done projects before. Some kind of difficulties that you encounter in every project you may encounter here also, though each project is different, as we know. So use relevant experience as early as possible. All right. So next, here we have who manages. Go to the next slide, please. Who manages integration? The most important person who manages the integration is the project manager himself. He is responsible. Whether the others are there or not, project manager has to be responsible for the project integration. He is the integrator, project manager is the integrator for the project that executes the processes. Then the team members. Team members concentrate on completing tasks, activities and work packages. And then the project sponsor. He protects projects from any changes and losing resources. All right. So we come to the next slide. How do we manage integration? There are 7 integration processes. Guys, this is important now. If you get a 10 marks question on what is project integration, the whatever I told you before are the soft part of the answer. Now comes the real usefulness part of the answer. You have to use the 7 integration processes. First one, you develop the project charter. There is a document. I'll tell you what the project charter contains. I'll tell you in the next slide. Before that, there is a document called project charter, which tells you what you need to do. It is documented. What is you need to do, who is to do what, when to do, etc. When to do, I don't think is in the project charter, but who is to do what all is to be done is all there in the project charter. And the first process, there are 7 integration processes in the project integration management. And the first integration process is to develop the project charter. The second process is to develop a project management plan. So the second process is to develop a project management plan. The third process is to direct and manage project execution, how to execute the project. I repeat, the first one is the project charter. The second one is the project management plan. The third one is direct and manage project execution, how to execute the project, implement the project. Next, you have to monitor and control the project work. You have to monitor and control the project work. How to do all this is planned in the integration process. And perform integrated change control. The next one is perform. The sixth one is perform integrated change control. Now, you see this monitor and control project work means it has to be done during the execution of the project, isn't it? So, perform integrated change control. Even this, the change control, integrated change control is during the project process. So, you understand that though you begin the integration of the project in the beginning, this integration management happens all during the lifetime of the project, because the last seventh phase, seventh integration process is close project or close the phase. Alright, I repeat, there are 7 integration processes. The first one is the charter, the second one is the project management plan, the third one is the execution of the project, the fourth one, sorry, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay. There are 6 actually, isn't it? See, charter, project management plan, execution of the project, monitor and control project work, and then close the project or phase. All right. Now I have given you a small, squares and arrows, a small flow chart down there on that slide, which says you do this project charter. From the project charter, all the processes of 4 processes in the beginning, project charter the first, and last it is project close the project or phase. So I'm sorry, I made a mistake in saying my slide said 7, it is 6 integration processes. So how do we manage? Next, go to the next slide please. How do we manage integration? Each process has inputs, secondly tools and techniques, and outputs. It's a process. Every process has input and an output, and in the middle you have a transformation process, and in the transformation or the metamorphosis you have tools and techniques. Input, input, output, in the middle tools and techniques on how to make the inputs into outputs. Okay, excuse me. But it also says here that inputs and outputs can feed more than one process. We'll find out how as we go on. Now here you come to the next one, it is the project charter. Alright. So in the project charter you have project statement of work, SOW we call it, project statement of work. Then you have enterprise, watch your slide, enterprise environmental factors. Then you have contract, and you have organizational process assets. Alright, these are your inputs. Alright, hold on, I'll just check what messages you have given me. Yes, good morning everybody. Okay, so I'm continuing with my class. You have said yes, you can see me. Fine, we'll go ahead. Kindly do not give me messages on Messenger, especially when I'm taking class. Okay, now what are the tools and techniques we are seeing? The tools and techniques, if you can see, I have given you this thing, diagram. It says project selection methods, how you selected the project, viability of the project, etc. Feasibility, viability of the project, etc. Then project management methodology, how you do it, what are the steps you do it. It has all done systematically, methodologically, step by step, phase by phase. Alright, you can't jump to the first floor, you have to go by the steps. Alright, this is mandatory for every project, every business function that you do, step by step. Where you may have done it 100 times, but each project is different. Like as I was telling you, systems analysis and design, I have explained in the class. Systems analysis and design, you may have done 100 projects, but each system is different. Each analysis is dependent on the system, so it's obviously different. And the development is different because the needs of every analyzed project, the requirements, commercial requirements, the technical requirements of each project is different. So just as in systems analysis and development, this is also different. Then some things like expert judgment, etc. Excuse me. Alright. So then you have the output. You just please check the slide I gave you. So in the project management plan, 1 minute, we'll go to the next slide. First, we did the we have 6 processes I told you. So I already did for you what is included in the project charter. Alright, I've given you the picture in the slide and the project charter is there. Next we come to the project management plan. In the project management plan, see the inputs. You have project scope management, project management processes, enterprise environmental factors, and organizational process assets. So in the project, all the plan, how to do, when to do, who is to do it, etc. are the outputs. And if you go into the inputs, see the processes and the outputs, all what you get is the project management plan. The third process is direct and manage execution. Here you see, you have I've given you a flow chart. Look at the inputs. Inputs are the plan, approved corrective actions. Suppose you need to correct or change, something, according to the situation contextually, you may have to replan. So approved corrective actions, approved preventive actions, approved change requests. There will be requests from the people who execute saying that this is not feasible, because they are experts in their own field. As you know, in a project management team, you have experts from interdisciplinary experts. So the experts from their disciplines will have an opinion on what can be done, what cannot be done. So you have to consider all that. So there will be approved preventive actions, approved change requests, validated defect repair. You see the inputs I have given you, administrative closure procedure. So then you have the tools and technology. The tools and techniques here are project management methodology itself and project management information systems, MIS. How to gather data, how to process it, how to collate it, send it across, communicate, etc. So the outputs of project management execution are the deliverables. What you have to do, the project is going on and stage by stage there are deliverables. Alright, when we do the entire project management, when you come to the time, the cost, the quality, you will understand how to do it step by step. What are the things? This is just the first part. I'm giving you the total deliverables or the total integration management plan. But here we have to imagine the project is going on, and this direct management and execution phase of project integration management is part of the ongoing project. So you have deliverables, you have requested changes, you have implemented the change request, you have implemented corrective actions, you have implemented preventive actions, you have implemented defect repair, work performance information you have disseminated. So this is what is direct and manage execution. Now we come to the next activity of project integration management. As I told you before, I repeat, project integration management starts at the beginning of the project, because unless you have the project charter documented, you cannot go and start the project. And then during the project, the execution of the work, etc., is also part of project integration management. We close with the closure of the project. So that is the 6th concept that you have to do in project management. So the next, coming back to my slides, the next slide I'm showing you is, I have sent you is monitor and control project work. Now what are the inputs here? Project management plan, work performance information, how much it has work. See, control means what? Take the actuals, compare it with the standards and find whether there is positive deflection or negative deflection. If you have positive, positives, then you find out how it is possible. How, for example, I'll tell you like this. a normal worker can do 8 units of a job for 8 hours, imagine, or a normal day of 8 hours. Suppose the worker, this is a standard set by the company, and the standards are set by experience, by experimentation, etc. By real seeing how much each person can do, etc., etc. Now, if the standard is 8 units of work to be completed in an 8-hour day by a normal worker, if he completes 10 units, then it is a positive. So you have to see what induced him to do 10 units. Maybe his dexterity of hands, maybe he's using techniques that minimize wastage and minimize his wasted time. Maybe his training enables him to do the work faster. So these are positives, and you have to find out what is it that induced him to, or gave him an incentive to do, or he just did 10 units instead of 8. Sometimes, so that is one thing. It will be like lessons learned, or some things to, if he has got good training, a particular way of training, or his dexterity, those are the lessons learned that you have to plan, that you have to pass on, not plan, sorry, you have to pass on to the other workers. Well, that is control process. The other part of control process is when there is a negative deflection. Suppose you have to have, suppose a normal worker, the standard is 8 units of work for a 8-hour day. Then what will happen? Suppose he has done only 7, he has produced only 7 units. Then it's a negative deflection. Why? Was he sick? Does he not have enough training? Does he not have motivation? You have to find out and provide remedial action for this to make the negatives into positives. All right. So this is basically monitoring and controlling. So here, given this background, you look at it here. The inputs are the plan, the work information system, what actually happened as compared to the standards, and request of rejected change requests. All these are inputs. So you have the tools and techniques are the methodology itself of project management information systems, because that is what collates and disseminates data. Then you have earned value management. I'll explain to you slide by slide afterwards. All right. And then you have expert judgment. All right. With all this, you have the outputs are recommended corrective actions. You understand what I said, I'm sure. Recommended preventive actions based on what I gave. These 2 points are connected to what I talked to you about control management, and you will understand. Forecasting, recommended defect repair, and requested changes. These are the outputs of monitoring and controlling project work. One more phase or one more section of project integration management is over. Then we go to the next slide, integrated change control. Here the inputs are again project management plan, requested changes, work performance information, recommended preventive actions, recommended corrective actions, recommended defective repair, and deliverables. These are the inputs. So the tools and techniques are management methodology, information system, and expert judgment. So finally, what are the outputs? Approved change requests. It goes through the tools and techniques to give you the outputs. All right. So approved change request, rejected change request, updates of project management plan, updates of the scope statement. Maybe the scope statement hasn't been done correctly. Maybe there is maybe that photo frame has to be extended, or maybe it has to be shortened. Something like this. This is the change of scope. And then 1 minute. You have approved change request, rejected change request. Wait, yeah, we are in control. I said approved change request, rejected change request, project management plan updates, scope statement scope statement updates, approved corrective actions, approved preventive actions, approved defect repairs, validated defect repairs and deliverables. All right, it is there in your slide. Please see. I'm sure you can understand. Let us go on to the close the project or phase. All right. Now this is the last part in a project. This is the last component of project integration management. As I told you, it starts at the beginning. Project integration management starts at the beginning with the planning of the project charter. In a separate class, I'll tell you all about the project charter. The project charter is a very important document for every project. So I would like to deliberate more on the project charter. I'll do it in my subsequent class. All right. Now, the last phase or part of project integration management is during the closure of the project, and we call it the close project phase. All right, a close project or close phase, closure. Everything needs to have a closure, isn't it? Whatever you begin, for example, with the admission you start your MBA. With your results you close your MBA. If you do not get the results, there is no closure for your MBA, isn't it? So for a degree, any degree whatsoever. So the closure is very necessary. So the inputs of the close project phase are again the project management plan, meaning we planned something, have we finished it? All right. So this project management plan goes to the tools and techniques of the transformation process. As I told you, each one is a process. You have input, you have the tools and techniques as the transformation process, and you have the output. So the project management plan has the tools and techniques are the methodology itself, how we needed to do, the information system, and expert judgment, have we done it, etc. So then you have the contract documentation to check. The contract documentation said this has to be done, has it been done? Then enterprise environmental factors, what affected the project, and then you have organization process assets, work performance information, and deliverables. So the outputs are administrative closure procedure. You have to document it that the project is over. You have to report lessons learned. Everything has to be documented. And contract closure procedure. If there's a contract between the stakeholders and the project leader that something like this has to be delivered, and you have to take signatures that they have received it. This is the simple closure procedure. Whatever documentation you have to do you have to have it registered, etc., etc. Then the final product, service, or result is there, and you have organizational process assets updates. What are the assets remaining? You have to hand over maybe the stock, the documents, all this. All right. So this is so I have just taught you what goes on in a project management. In the integration phase, six things you have to do, starting from the project charter to the closure. So I've just taught you what goes into the project integration management. Now the next slide, please go. And what goes on in a project plan. The project plan has the following things. The project charter itself. As I told you, I want to do a project charter again with you. All right. Project charter, project management approach, scope statement, work breakdown structures. I taught you last time. A work breakdown structure typically breaks down the entire work into different parts, and one part is usually 40 hours of work. So one WBS is usually 40 hours of work. Suppose we break down a project and say 100 hours of work, 100 WBS, it generally means 100 into 40, 4000 WBS, 40 WBS. I made a mistake. If we say 100 WBS, 1 WBS is 40 hours of work. So 40 into 100, 4000 hours of work is involved in the project. When you break down the entire project into WBS, it becomes simpler to find out how much of time you require for each work. For example, class, in the first semester you have 4.5 months of class. We have 7 subjects. 7 subjects into each subject requires 60 hours of class. So 7 into 60. Okay, for then 420 hours of work. So how do we divide 420 in 4.5 months is what we have to work out. So this is how we take the entire thing breakdown, and given the number of credits, given the number of subjects, we require 2 years, or we can allot only 2 years for a postgraduate degree. Then how do you do so the subjects that you are required to do? How do you put it? How much of working hours do you need to put in? All this has to be decided. So this is the importance of the WBS, or the work breakdown structures. Now next is the responsibility chart. Who is to do what, etc. Network diagram with major milestones. See, when I do time management, I'll explain to you with the form of in the form of a Gantt chart also. That time I will draw diagrams and show you, but it is necessary for you to follow my slides as well. I'm glad that whatever I emailed has been sent on the this on the WhatsApp also. So you, on your phone itself, you can check the PowerPoints. All right. Then what else is there in a project plan? First you have the charter, then you have the project management approach, how you go about it. Then you have the scope statement, who is to do what, and nothing beyond. And then the WBS, work breakdown structures. The responsibility charts, who is responsible for what. The project manager being on the top of the organization chart. And then the network diagram with major milestones, when you're supposed to finish. Suppose supposed to finish the foundation in 2 months. Have you done it or not? At the end of 2 months, there will be a review meeting to find whether what you should have done has been achieved or not. All right. Then you have the budget, the schedule, the resources, the change control system, the performance measurement guidelines. If you have made any guidelines, who has to perform what, when it has to finish, etc., etc. Then the management plans, which include scope, schedule, cost, quality, staffing, communication, response to risk, and procurement. So all these are there in a project plan. Now, next slide, please go. Project management responsibility for change. See, change management and control is very important. You just can't say the cost has been escalated, so this is the change we are going to do. We are going to employ someone with lesser technical qualification. You just cannot do it. Now, suppose you need to do, for example, you need to have someone, you need to get, and for some technical job, and you can't afford to pay that person so much. You need, say, originally you wanted an engineer, but you are not able to pay an engineer. You may want a diploma graduate who has done similar kind in engineering. So, is it allowed? You have to write in the change plan. And if it is allowed, what kind of qualification? You can't take someone from civil works to do an electrical work. As simple as that. So something like this. If not this person, this kind of qualified person, what kind of qualified person you can take? This could be one simple example of change management and control. All right. So the project manager responsibility for change is as follows: influence factors that affect change. Secondly, ensure that change is beneficial. There should be not change for the sake of change. It should be beneficial. And then there may be in saving time or in bettering the quality, etc., etc. Then next, determine if a change has occurred. Determine if the change was needed. Look for alternatives to change. If you do not want to change or cannot change, look for alternatives to change. Minimize negative impact from change. If there is any negative impact, you have to mitigate that. You have to manage it. Notify stakeholders impacted by change. Who are impacted by the change? Is it an extension of time? When you stipulate change, are you thinking of extending the time? Are you thinking of extending or lowering the quality, or lowering or increasing the cost? So, and who is impacted by this? Which stakeholder is impacted by this? you have to inform them, notify them. Managing changes that do occur according to change project plan is also, these are all the responsibilities of the project manager. Now go to the next slide. We are having integration management summary. It is like this: know the integration management processes and where they belong. Project plan documents the basis for all project decisions, that is the charter. Understand and the authority and limits of authority of the project manager. All changes should be guided by the processes in the project plan. You just cannot say, oh, it happened. No, you cannot say. This change has to be planned. It has to be decided. If there is a change, as I told you, you put in the, if there is a request for a change, you put it into the machinery of the project plan, etc. And the output is the approved change. I have already gone through the slides, and you must have, if you go back and see, the inputs was request for a change, and the tools and techniques of project plan, etc., etc., or expert opinion, they all said yes or no to the change, and the output was approved change or disapproved change, whatever. All right. So the change has to go through the proper machinery. Now, okay, now here we have, if you see the slide, you have responsibility, accountability, authority, and then please remember lessons learned. Lessons learned are necessary after the integration management closure. You have to write down the lessons learned. What went wrong? Why did it go wrong? How could we have prevented the wrong? You understand? What went wrong? How could we have prevented the wrong, etc., and how to improve in the future. Okay, this is all. So I have some 1 or 2 slides here. I will then framework for project integration management. This slide I will do in my next class. I think because this subject is not very juicy. It is juicy, but it's slightly dry also. And especially when online class, it becomes difficult to keep your attention for a long time. Thank you, class. You have any comments for me? I will continue my class continue in my next class. Yeah. Today I'll say bye. I have to say Bhavna, Rashid, Prashant, Bharat, Mahesh, Naresh, all good morning. Then Rupa, Hanumesh, Varsha, Manjunath, Nina, Devika, Lily. Yes, thanks, Nina. Abash, Rashid, Nasir, Anjali, Ravi. Yes. Hadia, Munireddy, happy birthday, man. I think it's your birthday. Stella, Lavanya, Manjunath. Yeah, if I've missed anybody, Anita, Reema, Chandu Yadav, Shilpi, Devika, all good morning. Okay, I think I will stop class here. Today I have done the first knowledge area. I said project management has 10 knowledge areas or 10 subsets. The first one was project integration management. Project integration management begins with the project by you first determining what is the project charter. A project charter is a document that says everything about the project, and it is documented. Who is to do what, when we have to do, what is the quality, what is the cost, what is the resources, everything goes into the project charter. In another class, I'd like to explain to you what is the project charter. By and by, as you go on, I will explain. So, project integration management begins in the beginning, goes on through the project, and then it ends with the closure of the project. Is that clear? Yes, Avash. Yes. Thank you for saying thank you. Yeah. So this is what happens. So today I have covered one area. Tomorrow there is more to cover here. I have already sent you. Suppose I feel in my class whatever PowerPoint I've sent you is not sufficient, I'll send you the second one also. It could be time, cost. I think we'll go into time. Or if I find that resource management is smaller, any one of the which I can fit into my class, I will send you the by this evening. I'll send you. And tomorrow class is a little difficult for me. I will let you know whether I'll take class. I may take class in the afternoon tomorrow, maybe at 3 or 4. I have to go something that I cannot, I need to do tomorrow. So I'll let you know what time. Be prepared for afternoon class for tomorrow. Alright? Afternoon or evening. I may even take after 4. Okay, but I will not take class at 10 tomorrow. Probably I'll take out 4 or after 4. Please wait for my class, and it's a login. Alright? So, as informed, maybe next week we'll be able to see each other. The things have to be worked out. It's not easy, but we will work out. That's why we are MBAs, isn't it? Ashish, good morning. Good morning. Okay. Love to Hadia's and Lily's babies. How are the Supermen? Batman and Superman. I hope they're fine. Yeah. And tell them they have to be present for all my classes. Right? Okay. And bye class. Bye everyone. I'll say tomorrow we will meet. Thank you. Have a great day. Keep smiling. The big smile that I always want to see on your face. Whatever happens, when you smile, all the difficulties go away. Take care. God bless you. Bye bye.